He's pure Ev asterisk L. Corey Harrison breaks silence after Father Rick Harrison's life sentence. Fans in total shock. If someone told you 10 years ago that Rick Harrison, America's favorite pawn shop king, would end up behind bars for life, you'd probably laugh and say, "No way. Not Rick." But fast forward to today, and the entire country is reeling from a stunning twist no reality show producer could have scripted. And just when we thought the story had peaked, Corey Harrison, Rick's own son, delivered the gut punch that no one saw coming. "I don't care who's mad about it anymore. He's pure evil," Corey said. Let that sink in. This wasn't whispered behind closed doors. This was a full-blown, explosive statement that set social media ablaze and turned loyal Pawn Stars fans into overnight skeptics. But how did we get here? What pushed Corey to the edge? And why is the world suddenly questioning everything they thought they knew about the man who made pawn shops cool? Let's dive in. The Golden Boy of Pawn, how Rick Harrison built an empire. Before we talk betrayal, we've got to rewind to the beginning, the rise. Rick Harrison was once the unshakable face of Pawn Stars, a man whose raspy voice and tough guy charm made viewers feel like they were hanging out in the coolest pawn shop on the planet. The Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas wasn't just a family business, it became an institution. He was the savvy dealmaker, the no-nonsense boss, and let's be honest, kind of the dad you wished you had when your lawnmower broke and you needed $50 fast. Millions tuned in week after week to see him haggle over samurai swords, vintage guitars, and World War II artifacts. People loved the humor, the drama, and the way Rick always seemed to know just a little more than the experts. But behind the camera? According to Corey, it wasn't all laughs and antique revolvers. Corey Harrison, the quiet son turned loudest whistleblower. Corey Harrison always played the loyal son on screen. He was the slightly awkward but lovable right-hand man, the guy who knew how to run the shop but couldn't resist rolling his eyes at his dad's jokes. But that Corey? The one we saw on TV? He says that wasn't the real story. When the camera stopped rolling, Corey admitted, "I saw the monster. Not the businessman. Not the reality star. The man who ruled with threats, who gaslit everyone around him, who built this entire image on lies." Suddenly, it was no longer about old coins and rare baseball cards. It was about trauma, manipulation, and a toxic family dynamic that no one suspected. And it wasn't just words. Corey came armed with receipts, recorded voicemails, emails, even private video footage that showed a much darker side of Rick Harrison. Footage that reportedly had authorities and fans alike doing double takes. The most haunting moment? When I was 14, he told me I'd be nothing without him, that I didn't deserve my name. Let that sentence breathe for a moment. The life sentence, what Rick Harrison was really convicted for. Let's address the elephant in the courtroom. Rick's life sentence wasn't some tabloid exaggeration. It was real. And the charges? They were jaw-dropping. Tax evasion, money laundering, trafficking stolen historical artifacts. It was the kind of criminal list you expect from a Bond villain, not a reality TV star. Federal prosecutors painted a picture of a man who used the pawn shop as a front, moving millions under the table while presenting himself as an upstanding entrepreneur. When FBI agents raided his private estate, they reportedly uncovered classified documents, stolen antiquities, and evidence of offshore accounts tied to international smuggling rings. Fans who once laughed along to "Best I Can Do is $200" were now watching a man in handcuffs being led into a high-security van. The contrast? Unbelievable. The turning point, what made Corey finally speak up. So why now? Why did Corey wait until after the sentencing to finally break his silence? "I had to protect my own peace," Corey confessed. "I was scared. I was ashamed. I didn't want the world to know I was part of that legacy." But the guilt ate at him. It wasn't just about standing up for the truth. Corey says he feared Rick would retaliate. He always made sure you knew who held the power. If you stepped out of line, he'd ruin you. Corey claims he even tried to go to law enforcement years ago, but was dismissed. "They thought I was just some angry son trying to get back at his dad." Now, the evidence is undeniable. And with the world finally listening, Corey decided to say everything he'd kept bottled up for 2 decades. Fans deserve to know the truth. Corey's message to America. In his interview, Corey didn't hold back. He looked straight into the camera and said, "I'm not asking you to hate him. I'm asking you to see him. See the truth. Because the man you saw on TV? That wasn't my father. That was his mask." He called on Pawn Stars fans to stop glorifying the image they saw on screen and start asking deeper questions about celebrity worship, blind loyalty, and the cost of silence. "I'm not perfect," Corey admitted. "I enabled him for years. I smiled when I should have screamed. I filmed episodes when I should have walked away. But now, I'm done playing the game." A family torn apart. Where are the other Harrisons? One question burning in everyone's mind is, where's the rest of the family? Chumlee, the show's comic relief, has reportedly gone dark on social media. He released a short statement saying he was processing the news and needed space. Fans speculate he may also have more to say down the line. Rick's second wife, Deanna, has not made a public statement, but insiders say she's distancing herself from the chaos, focusing on her own children. As for Rick himself, sources inside the prison say he's remained eerily silent, refusing interviews and reportedly keeping to himself in solitary confinement. But whispers persist. He may be preparing to write a tell-all book of his own. The bigger picture, what this story really teaches us. Let's take a step back. This isn't just a story about a reality star falling from grace. It's about deception, generational trauma, and the way public image can hide private torment. Corey's story echoes something we see again and again in celebrity culture. People playing roles, families protecting legacies, and truth getting buried under ratings and reputation. But here's the thing. People are watching differently now. We're more skeptical, more willing to ask questions. And Corey's courage? It's a spark. A reminder that speaking up, even when it costs you everything, is sometimes the only way to heal. So what now? Where does this leave us? America's pawn shop dynasty has crumbled. But in its place, a conversation about truth, about forgiveness, about how we separate entertainment from exploitation. Corey says he's working on a memoir, one that will go deeper into the years of emotional abuse, manipulation, and fear. He's also reportedly teaming up with a production company for a docuseries about toxic fame and the hidden cost of reality TV. Meanwhile, fans are left grappling with a hard truth. Maybe we didn't really know Rick Harrison at all. What the crew knew but never said. One of the most chilling aspects of this saga is the claim that several Pawn Stars crew members knew about Rick Harrison's dark side, but stayed quiet to protect their jobs and the show's ratings. According to Corey, there were whispers on set all the time. People saw him lose it behind closed doors. But no one wanted to be the person who got the show canceled. A former producer, speaking under anonymity, said Rick's temper was infamous among staff. He could be charming on camera, but the second something went wrong, if a deal fell through or someone questioned him, he'd explode. I've seen him slam doors, throw objects, scream threats. Yet the show kept going, year after year.
Why?
Money,
Fame.
and fear. People don't realize how powerful Rick became, Corey said. Once the show went global, he wasn't just a businessman anymore. He had influence. He had dirt on people. He knew how to make you disappear without laying a finger on you. That last line? It sent chills down viewers' spines. Because if Corey's claims are true, then Pawn Stars wasn't just a lighthearted reality show. It was a front for something far more dangerous and far more real. When America's favorite dad becomes its worst nightmare, the American public loves a good success story. And Rick's journey from broke kid to multi-millionaire Pawn Star was textbook inspiration. But Corey's revelations turned that story on its head. He talked about growing up in a home where love was conditional, where he was often told he was too soft or too stupid to make it on his own. Rick allegedly demanded loyalty, obedience, and silence, and punished those who broke the rules. There was no hugging, no "I'm proud of you," Corey recalled. Just control. Just rules. It's a heartbreaking image, one that shattered the illusion of the friendly, cigar-smoking, deal-making dad millions thought they knew. This revelation struck a nerve, especially among viewers who had admired Rick as a father figure. Many began reevaluating their own relationships with authority, with television, with trust. Corey didn't just expose his father. He held up a mirror to an entire culture. The internet reacts, shock, support, and scathing comments. Once Corey's interview hit the internet, reactions flooded in faster than anyone expected. Hashtag Corey Harrison trended for 3 straight days. Some praised his bravery. Corey is doing what many couldn't, speaking truth to power. Respect. This just shows how little we know about our TV families. Props to Corey for finally freeing himself. Others were skeptical, even angry. Why wait till now? Feels like a cash grab. He was fine cashing in on his dad's fame for years. Now he wants sympathy? Corey anticipated the backlash. I get it, he said. I question me too. But if speaking up late is a crime, then I guess I'm guilty. That line, raw, vulnerable, and unapologetically real, won many over. It wasn't about perfect timing. It was about finally having the courage to speak. Behind bars, Rick Harrison's prison life is anything but glitzy. Reports from inside the high-security federal prison where Rick is now held paint a grim picture. Gone are the tailored suits, flashy rings, and custom sunglasses. Now he wears standard-issue jumpsuits and eats whatever's on the tray. Sources say he's kept under close observation due to agitation, hostility, and threats of self-harm. He's reportedly been denied special treatment, despite attempts from his legal team to secure a private cell and access to outside communication. The prison has since released a statement saying all inmates are treated, according to protocol, regardless of fame or notoriety.